When people talk about the royal family, they often focus on ceremony, crowns, and tradition. What's rarely discussed is the emotional weight carried behind the scenes. Yet right now, emotion appears to be driving one of the most significant shifts we've seen in years. King Charles, a man who waited a lifetime for the crown, now seems more aware than ever that time is not something even a monarch can command. That awareness appears to be reshaping how he looks at his sons, his wife, and the legacy he will eventually leave behind. As 2025 quietly came to a close, the king shared encouraging news about his health, revealing that after more than 2 years of cancer treatment, doctors were confident enough to reduce the intensity of his care. Publicly, it was framed as progress. Privately, it seems to have sparked something deeper. When someone faces a serious illness, improvement doesn't just bring relief, it brings clarity. Unfinished conversations suddenly become louder. Regrets sit heavier. Relationships that once felt manageable to postpone become impossible to ignore. For King Charles, the relationship he can no longer avoid confronting is the one between his 2 sons. Prince William and Prince Harry have now spent years on opposite sides of a divide that is both deeply personal and undeniably institutional. One brother remained within the system, preparing to inherit it. The other stepped away, choosing mental health, family and safety over tradition. The media has often reduced this to rivalry or jealousy, but that framing misses the truth. These are 2 men shaped by grief, raised under global scrutiny, and moulded by a system that rewards silence far more than honesty. Charles appears to understand that now perhaps more than he ever did before. Sources suggest the king has made an emotional appeal to both William and Harry. He is not demanding reconciliation or a public display of unity. Instead, he's asking for something far more realistic. Basic civility, respect, and a willingness to coexist without hostility. While that may sound underwhelming in royal terms, it is actually quite significant. At the centre of this appeal is Queen Camilla. Charles has never been under the illusion that she is universally adored within the royal household. He knows that neither William nor Harry holds warm feelings toward her, and he is not asking them to rewrite their emotional history. What he is asking for is dignity. His concern is what happens to Camilla when he is no longer there to protect her position, her comfort, and her sense of belonging within the royal structure. As king, Charles can shield her from many things. As a husband facing his own mortality, he knows that shield will not last forever. Once William becomes king, Camilla's influence and privileges are no longer guaranteed. The monarchy is built on transition, and transitions are rarely gentle. Charles seems deeply aware that without his presence, old resentments could quietly turn into sidelining or emotional isolation, and for a man reflecting on his life, that possibility is deeply unsettling. What makes this moment particularly intriguing is how these emotional concerns appear to align with real-world developments involving Prince Harry. For years, Harry's fight for security protection was portrayed as stubbornness or entitlement. Headlines framed him as demanding special treatment. Critics dismissed him. Yet Harry never changed his message. He wasn't asking for luxury. He was asking for safety for his wife, his children, and himself. Slowly, reality appears to be catching up. Not long after a discreet private meeting between Charles and Harry at Clarence House, the tone surrounding Harry's security case began to shift. Reports emerged suggesting he was finally gaining ground, that long-standing resistance was softening, and that the outcome might actually favour him. For those paying close attention, the timing was hard to ignore. When father and son spoke privately, progress followed publicly. Royal commentators have suggested that Charles may be reassessing old decisions through the lens of personal reflection and public responsibility. Some believe the king is actively trying to resolve lingering issues while he still has the authority to do so. In other words, he doesn't want to leave unresolved conflicts behind. He doesn't want fractures to become permanent once he's gone. If that's true, it marks a rare moment of vulnerability from a man who has spent most of his life prioritizing duty over emotion. Prince Harry's position in all of this is especially telling. Despite years of tension, he has never completely shut the door. He has spoken openly about wanting healing, about wishing things could be different, and about hoping for reconciliation, but only under healthier conditions. At the same time, Harry has been clear about his boundaries. Any relationship moving forward must respect his family, particularly Meghan. That balance matters. Harry is not desperate to return, not seeking approval, and not bargaining for acceptance. He is standing on solid ground with a strong marriage, a clear sense of purpose, and a life that exists independently of royal validation. That gives him something he never truly had before, leverage rooted in self-worth rather than status. William, by contrast, appears more guarded. While this is often criticised, it is also understandable. He carries the future of the monarchy on his shoulders and has been conditioned to protect the institution at all costs. Admitting mistakes, especially institutional ones, requires a kind of courage the monarchy has rarely rewarded. Still, Charles's request places William in a difficult position. Refusing his father outright would carry emotional consequences. Agreeing would require confronting long-standing resentment. Somewhere between those realities lies a fragile possibility for change. And then there is Meghan Sussex. Meghan remains one of the most misunderstood figures in modern royal history, yet her role in this story cannot be ignored. Despite being blamed for nearly every shift within the institution, she has consistently encouraged Harry toward healing, not estrangement. She has supported his relationship with his father and brother, even while enduring hostility, misinformation, and relentless scrutiny herself. That level of grace is not weakness, it is strength. Meghan did not dismantle the monarchy. She exposed its cracks by refusing to disappear quietly into them. She did not pull Harry away from his past. She helped him understand that love does not require self-destruction. That distinction matters now more than ever. If reconciliation happens, it will not be because Meghan compromised her dignity or Harry surrendered his truth. It will be because the institution finally accepted that mental health, safety, and emotional honesty are not threats, they are necessities. And if reconciliation never happens, Harry and Meghan still move forward intact. They have built a life grounded in authenticity, compassion, and choice. That is not exile. That is evolution. At its core, King Charles's plea is not about power or optics. It is about peace. It is about a father who does not want his final chapter defined by division. Whether his sons can meet that moment remains uncertain. But the shift itself is meaningful. Now I want to hear from you. Do you think King Charles's emotional appeal will genuinely change the dynamic between William and Harry? Do you believe reconciliation is still possible, or has too much already happened? And where do you see Meghan fitting into the future of this story? Share your thoughts in the comments. This channel thrives on thoughtful discussion, not tabloid outrage, and your voice matters here. If you enjoyed this deep dive and want to continue following in-depth, independent coverage of Harry and Meghan's journey, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you in the next episode.